Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Mike Reviews It All. Today I'm going to talk about how the UFCW, the United Food Workers Commercial Union, completely failed the grocery industry by allowing self-checkouts to come in unabated. I cannot find any research, any evidence that they stopped these job-killing chains from coming in. I was working in a large grocery store in, what was this, 2011, maybe it was 2012, I think, when I first started seeing the self-checkouts come in. So it's about 5 years ago. And I was talking to my cashiers. I was a supervisor at this place, and I was talking to the cashiers, and I refused to use the self-checkouts. We had plenty of regular checkouts, and I said, no, it's taking people's jobs. It's eventually, you guys are going to lose your jobs, or you're going to seriously lose a lot of hours. The cashiers continued to use the self-checkouts. The cashiers didn't see the resemblance. They didn't put it together how people going to a self-checkout was going to take away their jobs. I'm not quite sure why they didn't put those two things together, or maybe they just didn't want to. And sometimes people, ignorance is bliss. They just didn't want to put the two things together. But I mean, they would tell me, oh no, Mike, hours aren't getting cut. And maybe a lot of them weren't getting cut at first. But, oh, this is making our job easier. I would hear so many different ridiculous arguments from the people that these things were taking their jobs away from. And of course, now that company, there's about 200 less checking hours a week, and it's getting lower and lower. The profitability of the company from that increased for a while, and now that pretty much everyone's using them, and now all the competition has them, it's not so much a benefit as it would be a hindrance to not have them. But where was the UFCW that I was paying dues to at a time, that you guys are all paying dues to? They're quick to tell you, you should go on strike, that your employers are oppressing you, whatever. And I'm not against unions by any means. I don't want people making $3 an hour or working in horrible conditions. But go to your union rep and ask them, where were you when they started moving in these self-checkouts that are eventually going to replace you? If you're a cashier in a grocery store, or a cashier in a retail store, unfortunately, your job has become outdated. And now go this year to Amazon Go. If you looked up the Amazon Go grocery store, we have one nearest by here in Seattle. You can walk into the store. There's no cashiers. Eventually, they say there will be no stalkers, or very limited stalkers. They'll even have robots stocking the shelves. You walk in. It's a very complicated system that they've put a lot of money into. When you put an item into your cart, it's automatically charged to your bill. You don't have to walk through a checkout or anything. When you go through the door, your card and your account will be automatically debited for the amount of things in the basket. I've seen a plethora of reviews on this, and from what I can see so far, the system seems to be very impeccable. As far as if you put something in your basket and you change your mind and put it back on the shelf, it comes off your bill. That was one of the questions I was going to have, and that is very, very seamless. From what I can see and what I've heard, I have friends that work there at Amazon that have shopped at the Amazon Go store, and it's working very well. This is the future of retail, and I feel the UFCW really missed a huge point here. What are you paying? What are you paying your dues for over there? I don't know. Horrible job. Shame on you, UFCW. That was a huge choke. A huge choke. Bigger than any choke that I can think of in sports history. Um, Absolutely, in my mind, absolutely disgusting by that union that has had representatives arrested for embezzling numerous times. And I could go on and on about the UFCW, but that's where they failed you. They didn't stop the self checkouts from coming in. So if you work in retail, this is what I would say. Or if you work in a fast food restaurant, um, and I go off on another subject for a minute there. Have you heard about the Big Mac machine in McDonald's that's going in right now? They did a test drive of it in Boston and let everybody come in and have a free Big Mac. So what it is you come into a McDonald's, or they have plans for what they call kind of kiosk McDonald's. And you come in, you just slide your ATM or your debit or your credit card. Right now, you push in what kind of Big Mac you want, and if you don't want onions on it or whatever. And this machine cooks and makes you a Big Mac. And there are absolutely no employees there needed to run it. When they get to this system, I imagine maybe one employee to run an entire smaller McDonald's. Don't use these things. If you work at McDonald's, even if you get a free Big Mac, don't use these things. Don't encourage these things. When I was at this grocery store working and they had the self-checkout, I was asked if I would relieve some cashiers for some breaks or if I would take some shifts, and I had to respectfully refuse based on moral ground. And luckily my store manager was respectful and didn't make me go into that a lot and didn't make me fight it. But I refused to take the jobs from my fellow employees. Stand up for your fellow employees. Stand up for yourself, people. You don't need a union to stand up for you. Start going to people and start doing it now. If we have any time left, we have to do it absolutely now. Stop using the self-checkouts. I don't use self-checkouts. I go to an actual human being to check me out. When I go to a restaurant, I don't like to use the little computer menu thing some of these places have where, if you need another drink, you can push a button, or you can order your meal now, you can pay your bills, do all kinds of different things. I'm totally against all those things. I'm not against technology, but when we get to a point that our economy is no longer self-sustaining because people don't have jobs to buy things, I believe there becomes a point to what is the economy and what exactly are we doing here? You're not going to have any money to pay your rent. We do need jobs for this economy, in my opinion. If you have another idea, put it in the comments there below. But I just don't see it, guys. And shame on you, UFCW. Like I said, you failed your constituents once again. Maybe you'll decide to go on strike so they can not get a paycheck for a couple months to make up for it. Thank you for watching another episode of Mike Reviews It All. And as always, everyone, have a great day.